Hi, yogis. Thanks for joining me today. My name's Lily Markle, and I'll be guiding you through an activating, heat building, and stability inducing slow flow. We'll take it slow, but we will generate heat internally. So, for this practice, you'll need a bolster or a couple of pillows stacked side by side or on top of one another to provide a little lift from the ground. If you have yoga blocks at home, great. Otherwise, you can use a stack of books or again, another pillow, maybe folded up blanket as well works great. So we're going to start with a little breath work, move into some self massage, and then we'll go right into our flow. So find yourself in a place where you can stay a while. I like to prop my seat up using my bolster, folded blanket, or pillows, just so my hips are higher than my knees, and that supports a nice tall spine. So find a place where you can stay and be in an easy seat. You're welcome to invite your gaze inward, closing your eyes. And take a clearing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, just to settle into some presence here, awakening the senses. Once more, breathing in through the nose and out through mouth. This last one, full as you can get. Audible sigh on the exhale. Feeling that vibrational quality. Just observing the breath as it happens to flow naturally through the body. We'll move into a little bit more of a heat generating pranayama or breath control practice. It's called skull shining breath or Kapalabhati in Sanskrit. And I'll demonstrate it first once or twice, and then we'll do it together and I'll count us through. So it looks like this, and it's focused on the low belly as the breath. So we could even practice first by placing a hand around your navel or just below your navel and take a deep breath in. Feel your belly move towards your hand as it expands, breathing in. And as you exhale, you could even gently press your hand in toward your belly a little bit to feel the slight contraction or release, a drawing in of your navel toward your spine. A couple more like that. In through the nose, belly expands. And out through the nose, the belly contracts. Good. Once more. Nice. And then we'll move through that a little bit more quickly. So we'll breathe into halfway, and I'll just demo this one. Exhale through the nose sharply. You'll notice my belly is moving back toward my spine with each exhalation. And it can be at that tempo. You can take it slower. You can go a little bit quicker. I will increase my speed as we go. And then at the end, we'll decrease our speed and work in a little bit of breath retention if you're comfortable and if it's safe health-wise for you. So again, I'll demonstrate that breathing into about halfway. Begin with the exhale. So you'll notice I started at a medium pace, went a little faster, we slowed down at the end, and then I held the breath in with a lock. And I'll walk you through the locks when we get there. So we call them bandhas, which are areas of the body where we kind of lift, find an energetic lift to seal the energy in, to allow it to flow throughout the body without releasing all of that good prana or energy that we've generated from the breath work. So we keep that goodness in. All right, we'll do this together. First, take a clearing breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Breathe in halfway. Begin with an exhale. Navel moves back. Keep your hand on your belly if you like to feel that indrawing of the navel to spine. Stay here or quicken the pace. Twenty more. 10. 5, take it slow. 4, 3, 2, long breath out to empty and hold the breath at the bottom. If it's safe, if it's comfortable and keeps you in that state of ease, holding the breath, bring your pelvic floor in and up, draw your navel back toward your spine and up. And then tuck your chin down and slide your chin back toward your ears. That's the final lock. Mula Bandha, the great lock. Holding for another second or two. When you're ready to release, release the bandhas first. So pelvic floor, belly, chin. Breathe in a nice full breath in through the nose. Open mouth. Letting it go completely. And just close the eyes. Be still for a moment and observe the breath. Observe how that prana can play out on the body and the mind. You might feel heat, you might feel waves or streams of energy, or just a little bit more awake and alert and aware. There's no right or wrong way to feel. This is a wonderful detoxing practice, and heat building also helps to clear the mind if you feel stagnant or too full in the mind. Good. We'll move into our Ujjayi breath, which is the throat breath, I like to say, or the Darth Vader breath. It's what we engage in a full-length yoga practice. You can engage in it today or not. We'll just practice it together. So taking your hand in front of your mouth, you're going to breathe in through the nose and breathe out as if you're fogging up your hand as if it's a mirror. So in through the nose. So humidity in the breath. A couple more like that. In through the nose. And then do that again in through the nose, but this time seal the lips as you exhale, keeping that same structure in the throat. The same wave or wind-like sound. And let the hand go and continue that throat breath, a slight lift or restriction in the back of the throat. See if you can do that on both the inhale and the exhale. Close the eyes and find a few rounds on your own pace. Notice how this slows the breath. And adds a bit of quietness to the mind, calmness to the body. Allows us to be in more control over our energy and where it flows. Great. So now we'll move into some self-massage, starting with our hands and then our feet. So we'll starting with our left hand, extend it forward and take the palm into a fist. turning your knuckles in towards you. You'll already start to feel a nice stretch in the forearm. To deepen that sensation, you'll take your right hand, palm open, clasp the back of your left hand and pull the knuckles closer towards your face without bending the elbow of the left hand. So from the side, it looks like a push and a pull action. There's a little bit of resistance, but no tension in the shoulders. So hold this for 3 breaths here. Soft jaw, soft belly. Good, and release that. Flex your left palm so that the palm faces forward, flexing the wrist, and then you can add a stretch by pulling the fingers back towards your face. Again, relaxing the shoulders, soft jaw, no tension anywhere in the body, just focusing that stretch sensation in the forearm. Another breath in through the nose. You can find your Ujjayi breath if you like. The wind or wave-like breath from the back of the throat. Good. And then shake out that left wrist. We'll do the same on the other side. So extend your now right arm. Take the knuckles in towards your face in a fist. With the opposite hand, you can wrap those finger knuckles closer to you, adding a push-pull action, pushing forward on the right and pulling back on the left. 3 smooth, easy breaths here. Just enjoying sensation, enjoying this time to slow down and listen to your body and discover your body. Good. And then flex the wrist so the right palm faces forward. Add a little bit of a push-pull action here, pulling the fingers back towards your face. Stay soft. Breathe easy. Good, and then shake that out. Beautiful. Taking the hands, interlace the fingers, and we'll just figure 8 roll the wrists here. Bringing some blood flow and circulation to the joints. See if you can go the other direction. That's less habitual, just to challenge the mind a little bit. Excellent. And then shake that out. We'll move into our feet next. So if you do have your block handy, grab one now, or a pillow. We'll start with our left foot and just place the side, the outer edge of the foot on top of whatever platform you have available to you so you can reach it better. You could even use 2 blocks, but one seems to work better for me. We'll start with just kneading the pizza dough. So squeezing from toes, both hands engaged in this, down both top and bottom of the foot, down to the heel. We're just bringing some blood flow, the energy down into our lovely feet. You can step on your platform and squeeze the calf muscle and around your shin bone. Good. Next, we'll work deeper as the next layer under into the fascia. So taking your fingertips, you're going to drag down the length of your foot, both top and bottom, starting at the joints of the toes. Push in as much as you can before pulling, as if you're trying to stretch the skin. And you'll feel that sort of internal stretch of the connective tissues that help everything else move. Try to sit up tall and stay relaxed and easy in the rest of the body. We don't want to add tension when we're trying to release it. So we're opening up our feet here before we do some of the standing, grounding balances a little later on. The last thing we'll do is taking your right hand and thread the fingers in between your left toes, as deep as you can go. This is not the most comfortable exercise, but well worth it, trust me. Good, and we'll start with just some circular movements. You could even pick up your foot to bring it closer to you for more control. circling the ball of the foot. So see if you can isolate the ankle, keep it steady, while just the lower half of your foot moves. The foot is rather flexible. There are lots of tiny bones and lots of ligaments and tissues in the foot that make it able to walk on pretty much any surface. Nice. And then let the ankle roll next. So make those circles a little bit bigger, both directions. Still breathing easy, nice tall spine. Good. And then finish off with a couple of pushes on the back of the heel. So where the Achilles tendon is and just below it, push on the heel to lengthen out that part of the ankle and let it bounce back. A couple stomps on the floor to ground that foot, and we'll move to the other side. Starting with our pizza dough. See, feel the warmth in your foot, how it already feels activated. So starting the toes and moving down to the heel, just warming the foot, right? Warming up the body gently. You could even start to peel the foot open a little bit as you knead that dough. Spread the foot wide. Let it take up space. Moving up into the calf, the shin bone, the side of the shin. That's nice. And then taking your left fingers, thread them in between the right toes. Pick up the foot and then lock the ankle in place. I like to grip the ankle bones here so that the ankle doesn't move, and just the lower half of that foot circles around one direction. Breathing, enjoying this process. If you have maybe 5 minutes only in one day to practice yoga, this should be your practice. Your feet are the gateway to the rest of the body. You can start those larger circles now. Help improve posture, your gait, the way you walk, the way you breathe, the way you balance. They do wonders for opening up any kind of or releasing tension in the low back, especially if your feet are tight and you have a tight low back. Maybe you could help your low back a little bit. So many of us suffer from low back tension or pain. So if we treat our feet well, the rest of our body gets treated well also. Good. And then a couple of those pushes on the back of the heel. Let the foot rebound, the heel rebounds back, and then a couple grounding stomps on the floor. Just take a moment to shake your feet out a little bit. Point and flex the toes. Feel how alive they are. Good. We'll move on to our backs and start to wake up the spine. So you can move your props out of the way. Gently come down, help yourself onto your backs. Good. You can walk your heels close to your buttocks at first. And I'd like you to take one hand on your navel and the other hand on your chest and start to feel the breath again, bringing in your Ujjayi breath if you'd like. Filling the belly, the chest as you inhale, and releasing the chest and belly as you exhale. Just feel that connection, breath and body working together to activate and energize you. Now bring your hands around your rib cage at the sides of your body. So you can either take your thumbs back and the rest of your fingers forward, or you can cross your wrists across the rib cage and place your hands on opposite side ribs. Now feel as you breathe into the belly and chest, in between there's a little expansion of the rib cage. So you breathe into the belly, then the ribs expand, then the chest rises. It's our yogic 3-part breath. Then exhale, release the chest, the ribs compress in, then the belly releases. Keep that going. Inhale the belly, the ribs wide, the chest high. Exhale, releasing chest, ribs draw back in towards center, and then belly releases. One more time. Belly rises, ribs widen, chest rises, and chest releases, ribs release, belly release. Good. Let your hands go by your sides, out to the sides, palms up. Take your feet as wide as your mat and start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Nice and slow, starting to open the hip flexors here. Massaging the glutes and the low back. Good. Until let the knees come back up to center. Walk the feet in closer to one another, but still hip distance apart. Slide your hands back down by your hips, palms facing down. Good. Press firmly into the heels, and as you exhale, feel your belly button draw down towards your spine. So the low back area flattens against the mat. Good. And as you inhale, feel that space open up again between your low back and the mat. So an arch in the low back a little. I'm exaggerating. Yours will be less. As you exhale, the low back flattens. So you're actively pressing the belly button into your mat. And as you inhale, just let the pelvis rock forward to release. Continue that. Exhale, press into the feet to engage your core. So notice how the legs integrate into that low belly area for your strength, your sense of power. Inhale, release. Exhale, integrate legs, low belly, spine nice and long on the mat. Inhale, release. Last one, exhale, hold here with that nice, strong, low abdominal musculature. And from here, start to press into the floor more to lift your buttocks and pelvis off the mat completely. Breathe in, expand the ribs, expand the chest. Keep that nice long diagonal line through the tailbone. And tuck the chin slightly to lengthen the back of the neck. Take a breath in here. And as we exhale, roll down from top of the spine to the tailbone. We'll repeat that 2 more times. Inhale, release. Exhale, ground the low back on the mat. Press into the feet to lift your hips. Open the shoulders, open the chest, long neck. Breathing in. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale to release. Good. Last one. Exhale, flatten low back, pressing down into the mat to lift. So find your grounded footing to find strength and power. Breathing in at the top and exhale, slowly rolling down, massaging each and every vertebra of the spine. Inhale, release. Good. You'll bring the knees into the chest. Add a little rocking side to side if that feels good for you. Maybe circling the knees one direction and then the other. We'll come onto hands and knees. So however that makes sense for you. Either you're rocking and rolling forward and back on the mat, or if you'd prefer, simply roll to one side. Swing the legs around and we'll meet in hands and knees. Moving into a cat-cow here. As you inhale, feel the belly heavy toward the floor and then lengthen the heart forward and up. The chin follows as you look up. Exhale, press the floor away, lift the belly away from the floor, rounding the upper spine. Head heavies. Inhale for your cow spine, open the front body. Exhale for cat, rounding, opening the back. 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, lift. Press the floor away. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Tuck the toes here and even add a little bit of space between the knees, more than you normally would. And we're going to move the hips, start to rock the hips forward and back, forward and back. Use your breath, gaining a little power, a little momentum, and a nice stretch in the wrists. Good. And we're going to start to energize the shoulder girdle a little bit. So as you send the hips back toward the heels, swipe your left arm back behind you. Inhale to follow the hand up toward the ceiling and forward in front of you. So exhale, drag the hand back. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, dragging the hand back. And inhale, follow it forward. Continue 3 more like that. Exhale back, inhaling up. Exhale back, inhaling up. Exhale. This time, keep your left arm high, reach it up, find that open twist in the side body. Another breath in as you extend, expand. Now we thread the needle. Exhale, bring that left shoulder towards the floor. The arm threads directly over to that right side and turn your left cheek on the mat. Good. Pressing into the right hand, re-lengthen through the left fingertips, nice and high, and exhale, releasing both hands to the mat. Start that rocking motion again, starting to move our energy up and down the spine. Next time you happen to exhale, slide your right hand back. Inhale, follow it up and forward. Good. 5 like that. Inhale, exhale. Let your whole upper back be involved in that rotation. Last one. This last round, we'll hold the right arm up toward the ceiling. Nice open twist towards the sky. Open the heart, wide open. Exhale, thread the needle. Right shoulder to the mat, right cheek to the mat. Create a little space between shoulder and ear for your neck. A gentle lift of the belly button, not too much, but just enough to support the low back to add a little abdominal strength or stability rather. Breathe as you enjoy sensation, opening, energizing the shoulders. Good. Then press your left hand back into the mat, re-extend through the right arm. And then release both hands down. Find your way into a downward facing dog. So maybe bring those knees back into parallel, hip distance apart. Send your hips back to your heels. And then press forward and down into your hands as your bum lifts up and back. Deep bend in the knees to start and release the head completely. Now you can begin to pedal out your feet. Start to open up the backs of the legs, bending and straightening one knee and then the other, nice and slow. Keep the weight moving down into your finger knuckles. Take some of the weight out of the wrists and let the head completely release down and long. And as you inhale, slowly draw the knees back under your hips, coming into that tabletop position again. And we're moving into our quadruped position with a extension. So you'll take your left leg out to the side about hip height, toes facing forward. And just start to find that rocking motion back and forth again. You'll find a juicy stretch in the inner left groin. Inhale and exhale at your own pace. Find your Ujjayi breath. A little lift in the low belly. Keep your spine neutral, so not too much of an arc, and you're not trying to tuck the tailbone either, just neutral wherever that pelvis lands, and a little bit of low core engagement. Good, and we're going to test our balance here as we open up and warm up our hips and spine. So bringing your weight back towards your heels, take your hands up to your hips, and then stack your hips on top of your standing knee. Beautiful. So arms can either go out to the sides or up overhead, however your shoulders feel comfortable. And that rocking motion of the pelvis, again, is going to go down and up. A little more tricky this time, building some more strength and heat in the low body, keeping that navel and that power center just below the navel integrated. So bringing your legs towards that energy center, the second chakra, the area of our personal power. Good. And then coming back down, hands and knees, testing the balance on the other side. So I'm going to turn around. You can see where my leg is headed. You're going to extend your right leg now out to the side and continue that rocking motion forward and back while on hands and knees. Belly lifts, but neutral spine. Keep the weight in all 10 finger knuckles and find a little bit of a lift in the center of the palms. So we're finding that energetic seal or lock wherever we can to keep the energy moving in all directions through the body. It also adds a bit of stability and safety to some otherwise delicate ligaments, such as the wrists. Good, now we're going to test our stability here. Send your hips back towards your heels, hands on the hips, and then send pelvis forward to stack on top of that standing left knee. Hands can go out to the sides or up overhead. And as you exhale this time, take your hips down and back, and then hips forward. Good, neutral spine again, easy breath. I like to take one breath part per movement so that my body's not moving faster than my breath. You're connected, body and breath unite. Now, as you move your hips back, try not to tilt your chest forward too much. You want to move your entire torso as best as you can. There will be a little hinging at the hips, of course, but try not to break too much in that long line. Good. Release the hands back to the mat. Take your right knee next to the left. And then we'll challenge our balance one last time, coming up into a kneeling posture. Take your hands on your hips, and you'll use your first left leg this time to just gently slide that knee out to the side, keeping the toes or the side of the foot on the floor till you find your full balance here. Start to feel your glutes engage, and we're gently going to close the knee into its neighbor and then open. Close and open. Good. If this feels pretty steady, could add a challenge by lifting the whole foot off the floor and continue closing and opening without letting the knee touch the mat. If this is intense on the knees or you're feeling any pain, feel free to pad up under the knees. I should have mentioned earlier. You can also do this on hands and knees to take less weight in the knees and help support some of the body weight into your hands. Go as slow as you need to find your stability and an easy flow of breath. It's okay if you fall out. We get stronger every time we come back to finding balance. Good. And find that balance on the other side. If you need a little reset, come onto hands and knees, do a little hip sway side to side. You'll feel your glutes fire up, and that's good. We want your glutes to come to the party. So transfer the weight into your left knee and start to lift and open your right knee, keeping the toes and side of the foot on the mat at first. The more you drive down into that standing knee, the more stability and lift we can find through the rest of the body, where we find our power. By grounding down, then we can fly. We can flow freely. See if you can pick up that right foot now. Very small movements at first. Whew. One side's always a little easier, harder than the other. Open, close, open, close. Easy breath. Draw that navel in. Integrate your legs into that low belly power center. Nice. And then come back to hands and knees. I'm going to flip around so we're all on the same side. Come back to your downward facing dog. Stretch the backs of the knees. Pedal out the feet as you like. And eventually you'll walk the feet to meet the hands at the top of your mat, nice and slow. Hang here in dangling pose. Soft bend in the backs of the knees, grabbing opposite elbows, and release the upper back and head forward fully. Sometimes it's nice to bounce the ribs on the upper inner thighs. Good. Take another 2 breaths here. We'll slow down a little bit. Breathing fully into the belly so that the low back expands. And slowly walk the hands up onto the knees to lift the chest halfway, bending the knees a little more deeply, and then widen the elbows, turning the fingers in towards each other. Good. Little lift of the low belly, keeping a long flat back here. Just stay in our chair pose to build a little bit of heat. So think about driving that weight of your legs down and back into your heels. If you feel steady and strong here, you might decide to float the arms forward, maybe up overhead or out to the sides. Another breath here. Draw the ribs in towards each other and then integrate the ribs back toward the spine. Exhale, press through the feet and release the arms by your sides. Take a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly, grounding into your feet. Feel the toe knuckles in the mat. Little lift of the belly button towards the heart. Drawing the chin back toward your ears slightly. Feel that length of your spine rising up behind you. Full belly and chest breathing and releasing. And release your hands by your sides. Take the weight into, first, if you have your yoga blocks, bring them to the front of your mat, a little bit in front of you, about hip distance or shoulder distance apart on their highest setting. We'll use that for balance. Otherwise, if you have a couch or a wall nearby, you're welcome to use that. So maybe you'll have to shift off your mat for a moment. We'll continue with the balancing here. So hands together at the heart center, or find a mudra that is promoting of balance. It's fingertips touching and spread open nice and wide. Start to shift the weight into your right foot and pick up the left heel and the left foot, drawing the knee up to hip height. So as much as you can, get the thigh bone parallel to the floor. Pause here and think of driving down into your right big toe. That's your anchor point. Good. From here, as you next exhale, draw the belly button back toward the spine. Start to kick your left heel back and tilt the chest, the upper body forward. As you extend that back leg, you're welcome to reach the hands forward or down to whatever props or support you have available. And now think about spiraling the inner left thigh up toward the ceiling. Making sure you could even look back and make sure that the toes are pointing down toward the floor. There's a tendency to open that hip out sideways. So by countering that, we counter that by spiraling the inner thigh up. Good, nice long spine and long neck. Easy breath here. Maybe you can take one or both hands, float them away from your support. Drive down into that standing heel and big toe. Breathing in. Lift that back leg a little bit higher. And then slowly bend the front knee. Tap the back toes to the mat. Bend both knees deeply and extend the arms out or up overhead. Navel draws back toward the spine. We'll take a big breath in and extend the arms and the legs. Arms might stay wherever they feel comfortable for you and your shoulders today. Exhale, we bend both knees. The tailbone heavies down towards the floor. Inhale, rise up, extend the legs. Exhale, bend the knees. Once more, inhale, rise. Keep that back heel lifted, so we're balancing on the back toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, extend. This time we exhale, spiral your left heel down and flatten it on the floor. Take your hands forward in front of your shoulders, still facing the front of your mat. Nice. We're moving into a warrior one pose here. So our hips are working towards square to the front of the mat, leaving a little bit of space for rotation. Our toes are pointed diagonally, a slight bend in that front knee, and reach those arms forward and out to the sides. We'll find a little flow here. So on the exhale, I'd like you to hug yourself and fold on the same breath. Fold your upper body into that front bent leg. And we inhale to stay. Find a long spine, even more length. Heart lifts. Exhale, press into that front foot to rise. And then inhale, we open. Maybe a little relief in that front quad by extending the front leg. So we'll do that again. Exhale, hug, bend the knee and fold forward. As low as you can go, maybe inside that front leg a little bit, and release the head. Breathing in, find more space in the spine. Exhale, press through the front foot, open the arms. Inhale, extend. Last round. Exhale, hug, bend and fold. Inhale, find space. Ribs wide. Exhale, power through the legs to come up. Open arms and extend the leg, breathing in. Nice. Taking the arms forward in front of you again. Open your left arm way out to the side. So now you're opening yourself to the long edge of the mat, finding a warrior two position. Try not to change the shape of your pelvis. You still want your hips moving forward towards the short edge of your mat while your upper body's moving into a twist sideways. So as part of that detox and heat building, the body is subtly twisting. So good for our internal organs, so good for stability. Soften those elbows a little bit and shoulder blades down, away from the ears. And then find a little space between your right hip and the right thigh bone by lifting that hip bone up and away. See if you can sink a little deeper into your warrior pose. Good, and we'll reverse it on the inhale. So send your right arm high, left arm back. Looking either down towards the back foot or up towards the top hand. Breathing in. Exhale, come to center. The inhale moves us into our side angle, right elbow to right thigh, and then swing your left arm down and forward on that diagonal line from your back heel to the top fingertips, looking into the palm of your left hand. Nice breath in. Exhale, we come up to center. Nice. Straighten the front knee and then turn your right toes to be parallel to the left toes. So now we're facing the long edge of your mat. Arms go wide as you breathe in. Lift the chest. Exhale, we fold forward, hinging from the hips. You could bring your blocks with you if your hamstrings are extra tight. You could also bend your knees as much or little as you need to, and then release the head and upper back once you've found your edge. Breathing in. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale, 2. One more breath. Weight shifts forward into the toes. Exhale. Good. Inhale, coming up halfway, hands on your props or hips. Exhale, come up all the way, long spine. Good. Turning the heels in and the toes out. Arms wide and up overhead. Big breath in. As we exhale, bend the knees out to the sides, moving in the same direction as the big toes, and the hands come down towards your midline. Sweep the arms out and up as the legs extend, breathing in. Exhale, draw down and into your center. Tailbone heavy, as low as you can go. 2 more. Inhale up. Goddess squat. Exhale, we're activating our root chakra here. So continuing that grounding, strengthening that sense of inner power. Last one, stay in that nice low squat. And then come up. Beautiful. Open the arms nice and wide. This time you'll keep your left toes in the same direction they're pointing, and then bring your right toes the same way. So they're pointing towards now the back edge of your mat. Moving into triangle pose, you could bring a block or a stack of books inside the inner left foot, and then reach the left fingertips as long as you can. Find length in that left side body. First, before tipping down, reaching your left hand to your prop or the inside of the left leg. Could be low, it could be higher than the knee, and that's enough work already. Good. Let your left hip bone sort of sink in and open that outer right hip here a little bit. So there's an open twist happening, creating space in both sides of the body. Breathing in, you might look up towards the top hand or down towards the bottom foot. Take as wide or narrow a stance as it feels good for you. Breathing in. As you exhale, feel that navel draw towards the spine. Legs are integrating into that low belly center. So feel that your feet, remember how we found the little bandha in the center of the palms of the hands? We can find that same energetic lift in the center of the soles of the feet and feel that radiate up into the entire leg, meeting just below your belly button. So much lift, but it's effortless, right? We take a lot of the muscular effort out and find ease in such strength. Beautiful. Coming up as you exhale, turning both toes to face forward, and then turn your right toes to face the front of the mat again. Arms coming onto the hips, deep bend into that front knee without overthinking it. I want you to exhale, send your left knee up into your chest. Good. Finding our tree pose, bring your left knee out to the side and place the sole of the foot inside the inner right leg, low or high, just not on the knee joint. You can find that balance mudra again, fingertips touching, soft shoulders, soft jaw. Just remember that When we're working on balancing poses, the process is never finished, right? We're never fully balanced. There's always micro adjustments. There's falling out, there's gaining strength, gaining perspective, coming back to find balance and move toward balance again. This is a huge practice we can take off the mat as well. Move what actions and words and habits could move you towards balance, towards health, towards joy, and which ones take you further away from those things. The more you press the foot into leg and leg back into foot, the more we can find that strength and lift. And from our roots, we can flow freely. Maybe the arms open wide, finding a mudra of your choice overhead. I like lotus, bringing the thumb and pinky fingers together and opening up the rest of the fingers into that blossoming flower, blooming from the mud, reaching towards the blissful sky. Good. Slowly draw that left knee in and release the foot to the floor. Bend the knees. Let's bounce a little bit. Swing the arms. Shake the legs. Let it go and celebrate that we only have one more side left. So we'll find our balance mudra here. Bring your props or your blocks back to the front of the mat. And shift your weight now into your left foot, picking up your right heel and knee so that thigh bone is parallel to the floor. Make your hips level. Draw that belly button in and back. Exhale, start to kick that right heel behind you. Tip the heart forward and extend the arms forward or down towards your props as you need. Think about driving down through that standing heel and big toe. And then spiral the inner right thigh up towards the sky. Make sure your toes are pointing down toward the floor. Long spine. Maybe you're hovering your fingers away from your support for a moment. Integrate the legs, both legs, into that low belly center. That's your power. Good. And inhale, find more length. Exhale, bend your left knee and then tap the right toes back and bend both knees as you move into our lunge series. Arms can open wide or high overhead. Inhale to lengthen the legs. Breathing in. Exhale, bend both knees equal amounts and keep your tailbone heavy, pointing vertically down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Ground into that front big toe. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale, two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Inhale, rise, and this time ground your right heel to the mat, keeping that foot on a diagonal. Reach both arms forward to keep the shoulders and hips moving towards the front edge of your mat. Bend into the front knee and open the arms wide. Take a breath in. Find that your ribs and spine integrate towards each other. As we exhale, hug yourself and fold forward. Devotional warrior. Head releases. Inhale to find length. Draw a long line from the back heel to the crown of your head. Exhale, drive through the front foot to come up. Inhale, open and extend the front leg. Exhale, bend and hug and fold. Inhale, we stay. Exhale, lift. Inhale, expand. Last one. Exhale, bend, hug, and fold as low as you can go inside that front leg. Inhale, find space. Long spine, grow between your vertebrae. Exhale, come up and inhale to open. Good. Bring your hands forward again to the front of the mat. And now open your right arm out to the side, keeping your pelvis facing forward. Upper body moves into a twist to the long edge of your mat. Now bend the front knee, and then instead of collapsing in the front hip, create a little space, picking up the hip away from the front thigh bone. Soft shoulders, soft upper back. Integrate those legs into your power center below the navel. And as you happen to inhale, reverse the warrior. Stay for the exhale. Looking down or up, breathing in. Exhale, come back to center. The inhale moves us into the side angle. Fluid and graceful. Swing your arm down and forward so that we get that rotation in the ribs just right. And then spiral the rib cage up toward the sky. Breathing in. Exhale. Come back to center. Straighten out your front leg. And then turn your toes to parallel. Open the arms nice and wide. I'll face you again. And we exhale, forward fold, using any props as you need to, or maybe a different arm variation. I often like to do the second side with hands clasped behind the back or grabbing wrists, wherever you can reach. Rolling the shoulders down the back, wider stance if you like. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Bending the knees a little bit at first before releasing the upper body. Hands move up and away from the low back. 3 breaths here. Slow down your breath. Forward folds are cooling and calming and grounding. And then inhale, release your hands to your hips, lifting up halfway. Hug the belly in and press through the feet. Exhale, rise to center. Arms open wide. Turn your heels in and your toes out. Good. Bend your knees as wide and in the same direction as your big toes. Palms together. Breathing in, we sweep the arms out and up, extend the legs. Exhale, hands draw down and we sink into a nice low squat. Continue 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale, sink, ground. Inhale, rise, reach, expand. Exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Stay and hold. Maybe a little balance here, lifting your heels, balancing on the balls of the feet. Breathe out through the mouth, release heat, release tension in the face. Good. Open those arms and legs up again. Brilliant. Now turning your right toes to the front of the mat or keeping them where they are. Turn your left toes in that same direction, finding our triangle pose. Props ready inside the inner right foot as we need it. Lengthen alongside that right body. Let your right hip sink in and then tip forward, finding support as you need it on your props or on your body. Top arm reaches up to find lift. Again, we find lift by integrating the legs into the low belly center. Press into that bottom big toe. Rounding support. So find that effortlessness, that sense of ease in your subtle strength. Rotating the heart up towards the sky, your hips slightly forward, but leaving enough room to allow hips to open as you rotate. One more big breath in. Look down if your neck is feeling any at all pinched. Exhale, use that top arm to lift you back up. Turning the toes back to parallel. Hands can release down for a moment. Now we'll move back to the front of our mat. So turning your left toes forward, bend your left knee, hands on the hips, or find that balanced mudra again. Without even thinking, take a breath in, Stay buoyant and bouncy and light. Exhale, draw that right knee up into your chest. Find your tree pose. Open the knee to the side and place the foot high above the knee or low below the knee. Take a moment to find your balance, starting with the feet, moving up the kneecap, to the hips, to the low belly, ribs, shoulders and chest, hands, chin, and top of head. Breathe. Maybe sway as you find those micro adjustments, finding any arm position that feels good for you. Ground through that big toe. Press foot into leg, leg into foot. One more breath. Good, and then we'll bring the knee, right knee back to center and release the feet side by side. Bounce the knees, swing the arms, shake out the legs. We did it. Now we'll move into our garland pose. So facing the front of your mat, take your feet hip distance apart, and then turn the toes out, heels in. Bend your knees, just like our goddess squat. So we want to go as low as possible. For you, it might stop here, resting elbows on your thighs, especially if your knees or ankles are not feeling so hot today. Ideally, we're going as low as we can, so you could end up all the way down, buttocks to the floor, if your hips are quite open today. There's no right or wrong shape. Just find a space where you can stay for a few breaths. Connecting to the root chakra once again, our pelvic floor, our feet, our low belly. You might even feel your pelvic floor as you breathe, inviting an opening and a descending and a spreading as you breathe in. And an exhale draws in and up those pelvic floor muscles. Inhale, descending, spreading, widening, releasing. Exhale, drawing together and up towards the navel. Inhale, wide, low, released. Exhale, in and up. Inhale, last one, low and wide. This time we'll add a bandha or a lock. So lift your pelvic floor as you exhale. Draw your belly button into the spine and up, and then lower the chin to the chest, and then slide the chin back towards the ears. This is the Mahabandha, great bandha, 3 locks, holding the breath out, and then release pelvic floor, belly, and chin. Inhale deeply. Exhale, open mouth. Take a moment to sit on your mat, however that makes sense for you, walking hands behind you and extending the legs out. If you're in this up higher squat, you could come onto hands and knees and then swing the legs out in front. Take a moment just to rebound from that. Extending the legs, walk your hands back behind you. Maybe even let the head fall back onto the shoulder blade shelf that you've created. And feel whatever streams or waves of energy might be radiating throughout the body, the lower body especially. Or just feel the aliveness of your breath. Or the happy fatigue of your strong, activated muscles. And we'll come to lie on our backs. have your bolster and blocks nearby. Just come down to lay flat on your back, or if your low back is a little sensitive, you could bend the knees. Feet flat on the floor, arms away from the body. Good. Now take your left knee into the chest. Cross the left ankle over the right knee, and then open the left knee out to the side or forward. This is preparation for a reclined pigeon. Nice hip opener. You could stay here and explore a little side to side movement, rocking the legs side to side, windshield wiper style. Exploring that nice self massage in the hips and glutes and low back. And you can deepen the stretch of the hip by lifting your right knee to the chest and interlacing fingers behind back of right thigh. Again, you could add movement here or maintain stillness. And release your right foot and then left foot to the floor. And repeat on the other side. Take your right ankle across the left knee. Option to find your windshield wiper legs side to side. Exploring sensations, and exhale. When or if you're ready, lift that left knee into the chest and find a bind behind the back of the left thigh. Moving side to side as you breathe and explore where sensation is felt in the body. Breathing deep and low into the belly. Soft jaw. Good, and then from here, release the left foot and then the right foot to the floor completely. Open mouth, sigh it out, releasing the torso. And walk your feet in a little closer to your glutes, parallel feet about hip distance apart. And place your palms face down beside your hips on the mat. Firmly press into that low back imprint, firming your belly, low belly. Press into the feet and lift your pelvis and low belly off the mat. Try to relax the glutes as you do so. So we're firing up the quadriceps here, keeping the back of the neck long and the chest open and buoyant. Breath. Keeping a nice long diagonal line of the spine. Adding a little bit of more activation here right before we end. Start to pick up your left heel and foot, drawing the knee close to the chest. And then releasing the foot back down, keeping your opposite glute steady. Switching sides carefully, lifting the right knee to the chest. Keep driving down through that left heel for stability, and inhale, release that foot. Continue marching here. Try not to let the hips drop. So keep them as lifted as you can while releasing the glutes. So you feel work in the low back and you feel the work in the quads. So on the exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lower. Really nice. Feel that heat. Just enjoy it. Only a few more seconds. One more on each side. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, and roll down the spine. Flattening the low back and then releasing the low back at the end. Hug both knees into the chest and give yourself a nice massage, rocking side to side. Easy breath. Good. Taking your hands down by your hips again. Send your knees right on top of your hips and then float your ankles in line with your knees. So you're creating this box shape or 90-degree angle from the knees. And then find that your spine is neutral. So we're not going to find the imprint, but rather keep a neutral pelvis position here. So there might be a little bit of space between your low back and the mat, but try not to let the ribs flare out or upward. So we're trying to harness the front body in without flattening the back body. Super subtle stability work here. We're going to tap the left toes to the mat on the exhale. And then inhale, send the knee back up, just in line with the other. If it's helpful, you might place your hands against your quads, just so you meet at the same point every time. Exhale, tap the right toes. Inhale, center. You could even add a little resistance push with the hands into the legs. If you want to add more fire, keep that going. Exhale to lower without changing the shape of the pelvis. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower. Inhale, center. Last one. Good. And then extend both legs up towards the ceiling. Hands can come down. Now your low back is flat. Just enjoy that little grounding of the legs and the weight of the bones, flattening your lower back and sacral area. Can flex and point the feet. Good. And now we'll take the last little bit of heat here into our abdomen. As you exhale, take your left leg halfway down. This time I want you to keep your low back flat. So press the low belly down into your spine, spine into the mat. Inhale, draw that leg back up over the hips. Second side, exhale, lower just halfway. Finish the breath out before inhaling to come back. Can flex or point the feet. Exhale, lower. Finish the breath before coming back up. Exhale, lower. I find it helpful to breathe out through the mouth. Helps release tension in the face. Now go a little bit lower if you can, maybe 3/4 of the way down. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Good. Last little challenge. Left leg moves 3/4 of the way down. Bring the right one a little bit lower. And now bring the left all the way back up. Inhaling. And then bring the right to meet the left. Woo! Little surprise there. Reset your low back into the mat. Exhale, lower 3/4 of the way on the right side. Hold that breath out. Lower the left just a little bit. Inhale, the right comes back up. And then the left meets it. Should we do that one more time? You can do it. Exhale, left 3/4 of the way. Right just a little bit or halfway. Inhale the left all the way up. Exhale the right all the way up. So good. Reset that low belly. Almost there. Let's take a breath in. Exhale. The right goes 3/4 of the way down. Still exhaling. The left moves a little or halfway. Then the right comes up. Inhale. And the left all the way up. Good. Bend the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. So well deserved. Circle the knees one direction. And then the other. A well-deserved release after that heat building. Good. Keeping your left knee into the chest. Extend the right leg out long. Flex the bottom foot, right hand on top of or behind back of the left knee. You can open your left arm out to the side and find yourself in a gentle spinal twist. The leg doesn't have to go all the way down to the floor. If you have a block nearby or a bolster or a pillow, it's nice to add a little bit of height under that top knee to support you in the twist. Take your gaze over the opposite shoulder, so your left shoulder. Take your inner vision with you, closing the eyes. An easy, wide rib cage breath here. Soft jaw as you breathe out. One more breath. So if you're breathing life into your body, prana, life force, your vitality, breathe it in. All things that refresh you. And as you breathe out all of that spent energy, let it flow away from you. Inhale, lift your left knee back up to center, join the right knee beside it, and then transfer your cushion, block, or bolster to your other side. We'll extend the left leg long, flexing the toes, the ankle. Open up your right arm to the side, and as you exhale, draw that right knee across the body, supporting it as you need to in the twist. Good. And eventually turning your head over the right shoulder, full belly, rib cage breath. Continuing to build heat through twists, also a detoxifying element to them, wringing out your organs and tissues, stimulating the release of toxins, of any held beliefs or energies. See where else in the body you can find softness and ease as you wring yourself out like a sponge or a cloth, rinsing the body clean. One more breath in. Exhale, pick up that right knee into the chest, hug both knees into your belly, lifting up the head or the forehead to meet the knees. One final squeeze, everything really tight from toes to top of head, including your face. Squeeze, squeeze everything as tight as you can. And then letting go into your final rest. Shavasana, shake the body a little bit. Give the weight of the body completely up to the ground that supports you. A final conscious breath in through nose and out through mouth. And then releasing the control of the breath. Letting everything surrender to simply being here in this present moment, in this present space, present mind, present body. Feeling the grounded, energetic shift with a little sprinkle of lightness, pulsating energy as we've moved our energy, moved our blood, Perhaps a loud shift to happen. Perhaps allowed any transformation to happen through the fire. Notice how the body-mind feels in this moment. Any sensations? Notice thoughts. Notice feelings or emotions present. And let them flow in and out of your awareness. Beginning to breathe some more life into the body again. Imagine as if you're drinking a big glass of water through a straw, from the toes, breathing in, filling yourself with that life force, that vitality, all the way up the legs, drinking it in, up into the pelvis, the abdomen, chest and shoulders, the fingertips, the palms of the hands, the forearms, the upper arms, drinking it into the upper back, the neck, into the head and face, whole body alive and vibrating. You can wiggle the fingers and toes, reach the arms and legs long in opposition. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Reach long and exhale out the mouth, letting go. Bending your knees, place feet flat on the floor. In your own time, you can rock to one side, roll to one side, making your way up to a comfortable, easy seat. Supporting your seat with a block, cushion, or bolster to align the spine over the hips. Keeping the gaze low or completely turned inward. And place a hand on your low belly and a hand on your heart space. Just feel the natural flow of your breath once again permeate through the abdomen, the chest, the throat, and radiate throughout the entire body. This beautiful, grounded, yet active energy, alert, awake, ready to respond whatever your day demands of you. A deep breath in, sigh it out. Joining your palms together in front of the heart, bowing chin slightly in towards your palms, and an offering of gratitude and thanks for showing up on the mat today to take care of yourself. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.